I live in a small town in Kentucky, the kind most people drive through without even realizing it's there. Not much happens around here. A gas station, a diner, a few old houses half swallowed by the woods. But if you ask any local trucker or one of the old folks about Highway 68, they'll all tell you the same thing. Beware of the little girl in the pink nightgown. They call her Jana. No one really knows when the legend started. Some say Jana was a little girl who lived in one of the houses along that road. A quiet family that disappeared sometime in the 1970s. Folks around here still swear that the house is cursed. Others claim she was murdered in the woods, and her body was never found. But the story most people tell goes like this. One summer afternoon, Jana was chasing a butterfly across the highway when a truck came speeding around the curve. The driver tried to stop, but by the time he did, it was already too late. The impact threw her far off the road. He called for help, sobbing into the radio. But when someone finally arrived, the girl was gone. No body, no blood. Just a pink ribbon tangled in the weeds near the guardrail. Since then, truckers say they've seen her. A little blonde girl with curly hair and pale blue eyes, standing barefoot by the trees just before the old bridge. Sometimes she waves. Sometimes she just stares as you drive by. And every now and then, when the storms roll in heavy and the road begins to flood, she appears. Most say she's a bad omen, but not everyone. A long-haul trucker named Ron, been on the road for 20 years, once told a story I'll never forget. He swore it happened during a summer storm back in 2014. He'd been driving for nearly a week straight, exhausted, just trying to make it home. When the rain started, it came hard. Sheets of water so thick the wipers couldn't keep up. He decided to pull over and wait it out. While he sat there, the CB radio began to hiss with static. He thought it was another driver caught in the storm, so he picked up the mic. "Breaker 19, anyone out there tonight?" Silence. Then a voice, high-pitched, soft, like a little girl's, came through the static. "Wait for the storm." That's all she said. Then the line went dead. He figured it was just interference, maybe someone nearby messing around. But something about that voice unnerved him. How close it sounded, like she was whispering from the passenger seat. So he waited. When the rain finally stopped, Ron started up his truck and pulled back onto the highway. Less than a mile ahead, he saw a car stopped in the middle of the road. A woman and her young daughter inside, crying and shaking. He got out to check on them. Turns out their car had died right when the storm hit, and only started again moments before he arrived. If he hadn't waited, he would have hit them in the dark. He said the little girl in the back seat was wearing a pink nightgown. But here's where it gets strange. When Ron looked down, he noticed a tiny pink ribbon lying in the wet gravel by his boots. The same kind locals say Jana lost the night she died. He kept that ribbon in his glove box until the day he passed away. Now, when the rain falls along Highway 68 and thunder rolls through the trees, truckers still flash their headlights twice before crossing the bridge. A silent thank you to the ghostly girl who never left. And if you ever find yourself driving that stretch during a heavy storm and your radio starts to crackle, listen carefully, because if you hear a soft little voice say, "Wait for the storm," you'd better do what she says. So I don't know how long it's been. I swear I posted my last post and went straight to sleep. And this morning my phone says I posted it a week ago. But so much more has happened. I need help. I thought I had found safety, a nice little meadow, open area with a few trees scattered around, and some flowing green hills. As I walked through, I felt the hairs on my arms stand so fast it felt like they were being ripped out. Then I heard footsteps through the cool wind, the icy wind. So cold that my eyes began to water. At first, I thought maybe my footsteps were echoing. I know that walking on grass doesn't echo, but nothing makes sense here. I mean, the birds are fucking friends with lions. How do you explain that? But then I stopped walking, and the sound didn't. The wind picked up. Aeolian songs began to flow like a distant voice in a choir. Aeolian worship music. My vision went blurry when I saw a figure. It looked like a man in a robe so white it seemed to glow. I say man, but that doesn't do it justice. Vaguely humanoid, yes, but larger than I could see, yet perfectly visible. Brighter than the sun, yet darker than shadow. It was a storm and I was merely a breath in the wind. It was a sand cloud and I was dust. Time curved around the light. Seconds felt like hours, which felt like eons, which felt like instant moments. Then my head began to pound. A sound, no, a voice began to repeat in my ears. This voice was genderless, accentless, ageless. It always has existed, always will exist, yet cannot exist. It wasn't just in my ears, it was in my skull, my teeth, my lungs, everything. Lo tucho lirotet panai, kilo yerani ha-adam vakai. The pounding grew stronger as this figure got closer. Lo tucho lirotet panai, kilo yerani ha-adam vakai. I felt hot blood begin to trickle out of my ears, running down the side of my face. Lo tucho lirotet panai, kilo yerani ha-adam vakai. My eyes weren't watering. It wasn't tears. It was blood. My vision grew red. I needed to scream, but nothing escaped my mouth. Lo tucho lirotet panai, kilo yerani ha-adam vakai. I couldn't stand up any longer. My head hurt too much. I fell onto my knees, then my torso followed. My face touching the ground. My eyes were buried in the dirt and grass. I felt a primal urge in my mind, scanning, reciting, remembering. Then, I realized. You cannot see my face, for no human shall see my face and live. There's more in this garden than I imagined. I could feel the grass roots spreading across my back like spider webs, circular squares dancing down my spine. The pounding turned into thrashing as my red vision suddenly turned dark. Not dark like black, but it was nothing. Not blackness, not shadow. I couldn't see. Then suddenly a soft golden glowing light appeared. It looked so far away, infinitely far, yet touchably close. Suddenly it rushed towards me, burning with the heat of a furnace. I could feel my skin starting to char. The voice screamed now, louder than any sound I knew possible. Lo tucho lirotet panai, kilo yerani ha-adam vakai. Then I came to. The meadow was empty, no sound, no figures. I can't say how long it lasted. Seconds? Hours? My mind could not track time while the voice pressed on every sense at once. All my training, my translations, my debates, my theories, none of it mattered. I had seen something that should have killed me. I guess I got lucky. I didn't want to move, and my head was pounding in pain. Those small pinprick points from yesterday were searing, like 100 pins were burning through my skull. The scars on my wrists began glowing with a white light, and deep within the light was something else, but I couldn't make it out. Although it hurt like nothing I've ever felt, it was weirdly welcoming. I enjoyed the pain, and it was almost like the pain loved me. I know that doesn't make sense, but that's the best way I can describe it. As I got used to the pain, I straightened up and saw my indent in the grass. I looked at it and inspected it. That's when I noticed that I fell and started lying prostrate, like in prayer. I wonder if that's where humans got it from. I reached to my ears to clean them, but found nothing. Although they were ringing, not a drop of dried blood, not a smudge of dirt on my face, despite the pain of it being pressed into the ground. I looked back at the patch of grass to see it looked normal. No indentations or pressed grass or anything. I took a deep breath, the air with its dry wetness filling my lungs, a burning cold like menthol. I began racking my brain. Glowing figures. Exodus 34:29. Moses glows after speaking with God. Daniel 10:5-6. Daniel sees angels as glowing humanoids. Matthew 17:2. Mark 9:2-3. Luke 9:29. Jesus glowed. Acts 6:15. Stephen the martyr glowed. But what would they be doing in Eden? If it was Jesus, does that mean Trinitarian perspectives are right, or adoptionist, or modalism? If it was someone who saw God and is now glowing, Why didn't they help? If it was an angel, why didn't they deliver a message or act? Even now, I was theologizing the ineffable like a fucking idiot, but my scholarship is all I have now. And that's when I remembered. Genesis 3:8. The man and woman hear God walking in the garden. God's kavod, glory, is what burns so brightly people can't see their face. The prophets describe God as bright. Theophanies are often related to fire. Exodus 20:21. God is inside thick darkness. That was fucking God. I looked around frantically, searching for anything of note, but the field was almost barren, except for a shadow that nothing cast, yet it seemed to stretch endlessly toward the sky, and within it, a small snake coiled as though waiting, its presence both mundane and impossibly holy, or impossibly malevolent. Its eyes stared at me, yet through me. I don't know how I knew, but I knew it was plotting something. Something in it was calling to me. I didn't even realize that I was walking towards it until I was right in front of it. Now, I'm no snake doctor, but I couldn't say what type of snake this was. It looked like a mixture of every snake I've ever seen. Standing before it, I could see its size. Although it was coiled tightly, it was long. If I were to guess, it would be a dozen meters long, maybe more. I heard its hissing in my head, and it was almost like a soothing balm. It was the opposite of everything I had just felt, and then I heard the hissing turn into a voice. "What brought you here, human?" At first I thought it a trick of exhaustion, or maybe the ringing in my ears. But the voice, so old and amused, yet utterly steady, spooled into my head. It smelled of wet leaves and something sweet I couldn't name. I looked around, searching for its source. "Down here," the voice cooed. I know it can be disorientating, like your stomach in free fall. I looked down at the snake. Now it was looking up at me. My throat tightened at the thought of what this could mean. I wasn't sure what to believe at this point. "I'm not sure." The words groaned out of my mouth, grating their way through my teeth. It was then that I realized I was talking to a fucking snake. "Oh, don't worry. You're not the first to make their way here, but you've lasted longer than I would have thought. Bravo." The voice was so calm. The way it spoke was as though it knew exactly what to say. A voice without doubt. "Who are you?" I sputtered out. "I mean, what are you?" "Me? I'm merely a humble resident of this garden, the result of our maker's handiwork and fine-tuning. I've always been here, for I belong here. But you..." It spoke with disgust dripping from its words, worming through my brain like ice fractures scattering. The air around it seemed to cool with its disdain. "I'm a theologian. I didn't actually mean to come here. I didn't even believe this place was real." I laughed as I spoke. The weight of everything came crashing down on me. Where I was, the mistakes I've made. I don't even know why I laughed. There was nothing funny. I just couldn't help it. "Oh dear, you poor soul, trapped in a world of monsters. Would you like some help?" It swayed as it spoke. I could almost sense its excitement. "You can help me?" I was bewildered. Every part of me screamed not to trust it, but I couldn't think of anything else to do. "Well, not exactly." It began to extend to its full length, black and red scales shining in the fading sunlight. "But I'll give you a word of advice. You're going to find something that you'll have an urge to avoid. Don't avoid it. You'll be tempted, and you should give in to the temptation. You won't die if you do, despite what you might think or hear. It will taste so delicious that you'll remember what it was like before you were birthed." Before I could respond, it was already slithering away, the grass parting as it moved. I didn't have the energy to call out to it. The sky has changed from the picturesque blue to a deep purple. It'll be dark soon. But in the dusk lighting, I realized that my wrists were dark. Where there was light before, now it's like they're absorbing light. I don't know what to think anymore. I'm hungry, yet I don't feel the need to eat. I don't know how time works here. I've been thinking about it. I always thought of the whole "one day in heaven and God's presence is really 1,000 years" thing was metaphorical bullshit, but I'm not so sure anymore. I'm going to try get some rest in some nearby woods. I need to think on what that snake said to me about temptation. I have an idea what it was talking about, but I need to remain professional. Don't publish a theory on a whim. That was what my professor always said. So I need to think before I publish